As diehards Hans Gruber would say, it's Christmas, Patriots fans. It's the time of miracles, so be of good cheer and stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and happy holidays to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you for once again making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for the Patriots country. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. You can also catch me where the skies are blue over on Blue Sky at mdabatenfl.bsky.social. And if you're looking to show some social media love to Locked On Patriots, please follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Pats fans, thank you for joining me here on this holiday episode of Locked On Patriots. Coming to you today in the midst of holiday travel, away from the studio, but I could not let the holiday go by without sharing some holiday wisdom and some holiday counsel with all of you. And today on tap for all of you everydayers, all of you Locked On Patriots loyalists out there, we're going to keep with holiday tradition, and that means diving into the Christmas mailbag. Three of the most poignant questions on the minds of Patriots Nation, brought to you courtesy of a trio of all-stars when it comes to Locked On Patriots everydayers. You know them, you love them, and I think you're going to be very intrigued by the questions they have for us today. So we'll start by taking a look into the Patriots' play calling strategy on offense and why, all of a sudden, Alex Van Pelt decided to unleash outside zone and the quarterback sneak. And he did so just days after he made it seem like they weren't going to do that anymore. Well, there's a reason they did it, and I'm going to share that reason in just a moment. But we're also going to address what I believe to be the Pats' biggest problem this season. And if you tuned in yesterday here to Locked On Patriots, you heard me tell Steve Balestrieri of PatsFans.com that the Patriots' run defense was one of my biggest concerns. What are the Patriots doing wrong, and what can they do to fix it? Again, stay locked into Locked On Patriots, folks, because we're going to discuss that too. And last but certainly not least, we're going to have some holiday fun, and I will reveal the gift that I would give to the Patriots if I were Santa Claus. Yeah, I'm excited to channel my inner Kris Kringle as well. So before your holiday plans take you to a place where suddenly there arose such a clatter, let's dive into that mailbag. And today's first question comes from a listener who helps make the season jolly here on Locked On Patriots, and that is my man LJ. Affectionately, we call him the show. And I highly recommend following LJ on X, folks. You can find him on Twitter at show_1 or X if you choose. And he is an elite level contributor during Mock Draft Mondays. Who knows? You might even hear his voice on the pod when we begin to break down those mock drafts. But LJ is always candid. And today's question, admittedly, is a bit of a paraphrase. He'd be the first to tell you that. But essentially, LJ has been asking this question all season long about the inconsistencies with the Patriots' offensive play calling. And today, LJ is legitimately concerned about whether the problems that Alex Van Pelt and his staff have had this season may prevent the Patriots from signing veteran help on offense. Well, LJ, I wish I could deliver an instant fix during this holiday season, but hopefully I can give you a little optimism, because if you take a look at the last 2 weeks, I think you're going to find that the Patriots are aware of those deficiencies that everybody's been pointing out, and they're making strides to address them. Bottom line, it starts with letting Drake Maye be more aggressive downfield as a thrower. In Week 15 against the Arizona Cardinals, if we're looking at the first half, the deep game almost non-existent. But Drake opened Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills by averaging 7.7 air yards per attempt in the first 2 quarters. That's what it means to get aggressive. You look for mismatches down the field or matches that you can potentially exploit, and you take those chances when they're presented to you. Alex Van Pelt, Drake Maye, Kayshon Boutte all did that against Kaiir Elam and that Buffalo secondary. It led to a 28-yard touchdown. All of a sudden, the Patriots are rocking and rolling, and the Bills are wondering what happened. Again, against Arizona, Drake didn't attempt a pass over 10 yards in the air until the second half. You look at what he did against the Bills. He threw 4 deep balls, completed 2 for 54 yards, and again, that 28-yard dime to Booty that gave the Patriots the early lead. This is what New England wants to do on offense. They know they need to attack that deep part of the field when they see the chance. The reason they haven't been able to do that, LJ, it's the reason you've been talking about, we've all been talking about all season long. They simply don't have the personnel to do it. This offensive line continues to be a liability. The quarterback is not getting the necessary time to read the field. If you want to switch, take pressure off, and go to the running game, the running backs don't have the lanes to run through because no holes are being opened by this run blocking unit. And it's led to the Patriots becoming very conservative, maybe a little too conservative when it comes to their play calling. Alex Van Pelt actually spoke with Patriots.com last week, and he admitted that he and the Patriots offensive coaching staff were holding back design runs for Drake Maye because they simply did not want to risk this kid getting injured on a team that right now is 3-11, soon to be 3-12. In a lot of circumstances, that's understandable, but at some point, you've got to test the kid out and see what he's got. And the Patriots actually did that to their own credit against the Bills on Sunday. AVP called 2 zone read plays on Sunday, and even though one was unsuccessful, the other one went for 13 yards, and that converted a 4th and 1 late in the game. So again, showing aggression and some inventive play calling is going to put teams on notice a little bit, maybe even potential future Patriots, LJ. Logically, the question that follows is, well, why do it now? You've opted not to do it pretty much all season long, but all of a sudden you're going to unleash the outside zone. Well, as I do from time to time here on Locked On Patriots, I got to give a tip of the cap to my good friend Evan Lazar of Patriots.com, one of the best in the business, and this is the reason why. He asked that question to Gerard Mayo on Sunday, right after the Bills-Patriots game had concluded. And here's what the coach had to say. I quote, "We thought that was the best fit for the football team. He can make plays with his legs, and he did that today. We're always looking for ways to win." Now, I know that wasn't exactly a revelation, but it does show that the Patriots heard the criticism about their play calling. They also heard the criticism about their effort in Week 15. Let's face it, we were all criticizing them. I said right here on these airwaves, it looked like they were making off-season vacation plans already, but give the Patriots credit. This week, they came out with a purpose to put everyone on notice that this is what we're going to look like. This is what we're capable of when we have the team in place to sustain this type of attack for 4 quarters. When we have capable blockers, we have playmaking, consistent pass catchers, we can stand toe-to-toe with anyone. Now, granted, they need to nail this offseason. LJ, you've been very vocal about this pretty much all season long. They need to bring in the right free agents. Not just the best players available, but the right free agents for their system. Let that wealth of salary cap space they're going to have work for them. That means going after veteran wideouts and veteran offensive linemen, players that can nurture and protect Drake Maye. You do that, I guarantee you it's going to be an extra Merry Christmas in New England this time next year. I'm not saying playoffs, I'm not saying deep playoff run, but it'll be a lot better and a lot brighter than currently what we're seeing from the Patriots this year. Until then, I think you should expect to see the Patriots use these next couple of games to test their capabilities, very similar to the strategy they employed against the Buffalo Bills. And who knows, if they can catch the Chargers off guard or the Bills in their final game, maybe they can squeak out one more win before the curtain's brought down on the 2024 NFL season. So, LJ, thanks for the great question. Most importantly, thank you for your unending support and being a most valued everydayer here on Locked On Patriots. But, folks, we are just getting warmed up on this holiday mailbag edition of Locked On Patriots. Another mailbag MVP has a great question regarding the Patriots' run defense. And that's an area in which this team has suffered, in my opinion, to be its greatest regression. How do you solve a problem like the Patriots' run defense? We'll tackle that topic in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, the NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. I personally love the strategy of deciding on which players will score a touchdown and how many points each team will score. It's thrilling. But not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. Just visit fanduel.com to join today. That's fanduel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Patriots fans, thank you for joining me here today on this holiday mailbag episode of Locked On Patriots. As a reminder, I will be off on Christmas Day, December 25th, but the pod will be back strong on Crossover Thursday right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And that means Daniel Wade, one half of the hosting tandem of Locked On Chargers, will be here to get you ready for Saturday's 1 p.m. kickoff between your New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers from Gillette Stadium. But in the meantime, we are rolling right along here into the mailbag, and we've already discussed the Patriots offense, thanks in part to a great question by our man LJ, but we're about to take a dive into the defense. And this next question on this holiday mailbag episode of Locked On Patriots comes to us from the man who defines the term Locked On Loyalist. He has been a Locked On Patriots fan since long before I had the microphone. Truly one of the greats, our friend Ted in Chicopee, Mass. And Ted's a little worried about the defense, just like I am, folks. And he has a great question. Ted would like to know, why has this Pats run defense regressed so far this season, and what can be done to fix it? Well, again, Ted, this is the question that continues to keep me up at night when it comes to this team. The simple answer is a lot of things. You can't really pinpoint it to just one item. Obviously, they've had devastating injuries to key players. Christian Barmore, Juwan Bentley being the most notable two. Take them out of the lineup, your run defense is going to get worse. It's not even a question. Arguably, you're losing your best two defensive players along that front seven. Jabril Peppers in the secondary, he's banged up a little bit now after missing most of the season with off-field legal issues. So those three players, that's your backbone, literally. That's the middle of this defense. You can't stop the run without a backbone. No backbone, no strength, and you can't really fault the Patriots for not being able to sustain that. And normally that would be enough to sink any team, but it hasn't just been about the personnel. It goes deeper than that this season. Their defensive line and their linebackers have struggled all throughout the year. And if we're talking about serving up blame pie on this holiday table, it's split pretty much down the middle between the D-line and the linebackers. Pretty much across the board, this team is not being physical enough when playing their blocks. That second level is being routinely moved out of their gaps, and when they're not getting knocked around, they're playing the wrong gaps, or they're taking way too long to recognize the play. All of these add up to a disastrous result when it comes to run defense. But maybe the most upsetting thing to me is that when it's time for any of these defenders to draw a beat on the football, they're showing no sense of urgency. That's really frustrating. So many times this season, this defense has had a play in the backfield, but the runner finds a way to break free and he gets a handful of yards. A lot of times it's to gain a fresh set of downs, and this can be a momentum killer for any defense, let alone a team that's struggling like the Patriots. And you can point to just this past week as evidence of that. Patriots media relations credited the Patriots with missing 8 tackles versus the run against the Buffalo Bills. 4 of those were on tackle attempts that could have been tackles for loss. Devon Godshaw missed one, Anthony Jennings missed one, Alex Austin and Daniel Ekuale all missed opportunities to put the Buffalo Bills on their heels. Those are 4 of your strongest players, and if they're not giving you the consistency that you need, the guys around them are going to struggle, and you're going to see a defense start to crumble. So in my opinion, that's really what's going on at the heart of the Patriots' run defense. As for what they can do to fix it, well, getting Barmore back healthy, getting Bentley back healthy, getting Jabril Peppers back healthy, and hopefully free of any off-field issues, that'll definitely help. But it's not the only answer. There is still a level that this Patriots team is capable of playing to that they haven't reached yet, even without those guys. And to me, this is on the coaching staff. That's when it's got to be the job of DeMarcus Covington, of Jerry Montgomery, their defensive line coach, Drew Wilkins and Dante Hightower coaching the linebackers. Ultimately, Drake Maye himself. They've got to find a way to bring it all together. They could use some upgrades in personnel. I'm not going to deny that. I do think they will address their depth this offseason, but the core players on this defense are more than talented enough to get the job done. I hate to say it, it sounds so rudimentary. They just need to play better. That's the best way to fix this. And Ted, if I'm being honest, it's the only fix right now that they can control, that they can put into their own hands and control their own fate. So you have 2 games left on the schedule, 2 teams that are not going to be easy to beat. The Chargers are fighting for their playoff lives right now. You can bet they're going to come into Gillette Stadium motivated to win this game. And if the Buffalo Bills are still playing for home field advantage or still trying to improve playoff seeding when they come to Gillette Stadium to close everything out in Week 18, they're going to be highly motivated to beat the Patriots. But if you're the Pats, you can't control that right now. You can simply play the opponent on the field. And in my opinion, this is a great opportunity for them to start to fix all the fundamental problems they've been having and try to move into 2025 on a positive note. That being said, Ted, thank you for a great question. Always appreciate all of the support that you provide to Locked On Patriots. And I get it, folks. I know even though this segment may not have spread a whole lot of Christmas cheer, we're about to close this pod out with a festive and a fun question from yet another everydayer all-star. I get to channel my inner Santa Claus when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you love watching the game, well, you're going to love Prize Picks. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. Whether it's football, basketball, or any of your favorite sports, Prize Picks makes your holidays bigger and brighter. Here's why you need to check it out. You can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. Plus, this holiday season, they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas and offering 2 free picks in December. And when your picks hit, Prize Picks makes it easy to cash out. You can get your money in as fast as 15 minutes. This week, I'm looking at Drake Maye to throw more than 250 yards, and I'll put my intuition to the test with Prize Picks. It's quick, simple, and so much fun to challenge myself and my friends. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 instantly when you play just $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Locked On listeners, with the end of the year fast approaching, I have one question for you. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? Well, that definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. So don't delay, do it today. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Patriots fans, thank you for joining me here today on this holiday mailbag episode. And again, I hope that all of you are having a great holiday week. A special tip of the holiday Santa hat to all of you who have made Locked On Patriots your first listen here on this holiday. If you have, I encourage you to make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On NFL. All the major storylines across the NFL broken down and analyzed for you by our great network of analysts we have, and only here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And much like Locked On Patriots, Locked On NFL is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And in keeping in the tradition of holiday giving, we are delving deep into the Locked On Patriots mailbag today. We've already talked offense and we've talked defense, but now we're going to have a little holiday fun because one of our very favorite everydayers, Ava in Rhode Island, is asking me to channel my inner Santa Claus. And her question today reads, Mike, if you were Santa Claus, what would you deliver to the New England Patriots? And Ava, this is a great question. And of course, in the interest of honesty, I am indeed not Santa Claus, folks. I may weigh as much as Santa, but in the immortal words of Clark Griswold, I can't even afford to be an elf. But I love the question, Ava, and I had to give this one a lot of thought. Earlier this month, I had the good fortune to join the Locked On NFL Squad show, and we were asked a question very similar to this. I jokingly said that I wanted to get Gerard Mayo one of those mind eraser devices that Will Smith used in Men in Black so he wouldn't have to walk back the post-game comments. If he said something he regretted, he could just use that, that little chick chick, and then we could all just forget about them. But of course, folks, I was kidding. I want to be a good Santa this time around. And I would say that the best gift that the Pats could get this year is an offensive line that could protect Drake Maye. Probably not a revelation. I'm sure that's what a lot of Patriots fans would love to give their rookie quarterback and the team as a whole. I know LJ's listening to this right now, and he's screaming at me about needing competent coaching, playmaking receivers. LJ, I'm not arguing the point, but I do believe that a healthy and a functioning offensive line would work wonders for the Pats. Look, New England's offensive line has really struggled with injury. David Andrews is out for the year. Cole Strange has recently been activated, but still hasn't seen any in-game action. Against the Buffalo Bills, the Patriots had Vidarian Lowe at left tackle, Layden Robinson at left guard, Ben Brown at center, Michael Wenu at right guard, and Demontre Jacobs at right tackle. And each and every one of those players that I've just mentioned has struggled and struggled mightily at some point this season. Vidarian Lowe has had good games. He's had really bad games. Against the Arizona Cardinals, one of his worst performances of the season. I thought he bounced back a little bit better against the Buffalo Bills, but not enough to convince Patriots Nation that he's the long-term solution. Left tackle, Patriots clearly need an upgrade there. Layden Robinson, I think, is a solid player, but he's a rookie. He's going to continue to make rookie mistakes. Ben Brown, I think, has come in and done as well as anybody could do in replacing a legend like David Andrews. And for the majority of the season, he's been solid. But there have been times when the snaps have been low, and that's caused problems for Drake in this offense. Michael Wenu is still pound for pound your best offensive lineman, but he's struggled this season. His consistency has lacked. He's been shuffled around, I think, a little bit more than he bargained for. So you add all of those up, and you're going to have struggle. Notice I saved Demontre Jacobs to the last. For the purposes of this question, Trey probably picked the worst possible time for him to have his worst game of the season. Surrendered 5 pressures in 16 matchups against Von Miller on Sunday. Missed Greg Rousseau badly on that backwards pass attempt, which, if we're being fair, you got to give a significant slice of the blame pie to Drake Maye for making that throw to begin with, but that really made that play stand out in a bad way. Because of that, I do believe that as long as he's healthy enough to give it a go and he's not going to injure himself any worse by being out there, the rookie Caden Wallace has to get his shot at right tackle. This is where he's most comfortable. This is where I believe he's going to be at his best. And the Patriots can at least know that they have a solid prospect to build on the right side. Again, whether you're talking this season or even into early next year, Wallace's return to this lineup is going to help. But this team needs more than just one player. It's a common theme throughout this team, whether you're talking offense, defense, or even special teams. Drake Maye and this running back tandem of Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson need blockers. Drake desperately needs a left tackle to protect his blind side. So once those pieces are put into place, then you can start building on a strong foundation. I mentioned Cole Strange earlier. You need to get Cole in the game. I'd love to see him this week against the Chargers, and perhaps that is something we may discuss on Thursday when Daniel Wade of Locked On Chargers joins me here on Crossover Thursday. Keep a sharp ear out for that one. But in any case, Ava, I think you can see where I'm going with this. The Patriots need a lot of help on offense. They need a lot of help on defense. They could even use some shoring up on special teams. That means a whole lot on Santa's wish list and a lot of gifts wrapped under the Patriots tree. But if you're asking me which one gets the biggest bow, takes the most wrapping paper, yeah, it's going to be the offensive line. That's the one I would deliver if I were Santa Claus and heading to One Patriots Place in Foxborough, Massachusetts on Christmas Eve. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate getting the chance to channel my inner Kris Kringle right here on Locked On Patriots. So, Ava, thank you for the great question. You, Ted, and LJ have been amazing when it comes to support. I'm so grateful for that. But folks, my next holiday thanks go to all of you out there. A special thanks to all of you for taking time out of your day to make Locked On Patriots a part of your daily Patriots coverage. Whether it be as an everydayer or an occasional listener, or perhaps even as a first time, your support means the world to me. It hasn't always been smooth sailing here on Locked On Patriots, but the one thing that I can promise you heading into 2025 is that you ain't seen nothing yet. The return of Mock Draft Monday, the return of Mailbag Mondays, the off-season equivalent of the football hot stove. We're going to delve into all of that with some amazing guests lined up, and if I may say so myself, some pretty cool upgrades to the show coming. So, folks, stay locked into Locked On Patriots. You will certainly not regret. And with that, I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all, and to all a good night. Once again, I'm Mike Debate, and I remind you all to stay safe, to stay well, and to be the change you wish to see in the world. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone, and we'll see you back here again on Thursday on Locked On Patriots.